we're seeing a huge surge in the number of children coming across. And so, Pelosi was asked about this on ABC, and she essentially, all of the answers she gave were completely false. And we're going to play one clip for you right now about that.
Actually, the facts are these. There are more children, about 700 more children, unaccompanied children, coming over the border. This is a humanitarian challenge to all of us. What the administration has inherited is a broken system at the border, and they are working to correct that in the children's interest.
Not a crisis, it's a challenge.
Yeah, so 700 children. She doesn't say what length of time that's over or anything. Nobody has any idea where those numbers are coming from. What the actual number is that through February into March, there have been 337 children per day that have come across unaccompanied, come across the border. And so we've had to try to find holding facilities for all of those people. And furthermore, she mentioned there how they inherited a broken system. And that's kind of laughable given that, Andrew, you're doing a series right now, Erasing the Line, basically about how Biden is tearing down everything that Trump had. Biden is making the border less secure, which is leading to this problem. So saying that, it's because of Trump. Well, you took away everything Trump did to prevent this.
I will say, maybe this is not the time for
go ahead.
Going back and forth, but to an extent, she's right in that the border, the immigration system has been broken for decades.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, certainly.
Every president
Trump didn't fix it. Bush didn't fix it. Clinton didn't fix it. It's a stupid argument to make because literally every president has inherited a broken immigration system.
Yes.
And very few presidents. Trump, you can say with the wall and with certain border security things, no president has found the magic solution. No.
Yeah.
And I doubt that Joe Biden will.
And that's great that you bring that up, Joe, because that I could clarify a little further. What she's being asked about is not why the situation at the border is so bad. Basically, what she's being asked is why is it getting so much worse under Biden? Because even George Stephanopoulos, when he's asking her about it, he's comparing it. He's saying these are worse than any of the numbers we've had under Trump. And so that's what they're asking her about. And she's saying, well, we've had a broken system. That's why it's getting so much worse. And it's like, well, you're moving away from the system that was producing less numbers of this severity. And so then we have a second clip from this interview as well.
So this, again, is a transition for what was wrong before to what is right. Of course, we have to also look to Central America and Mexico and the rest. The corruption, the violence, all of that so bad. My most recent trip to the Northern Triangle, that would be Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, you saw the impact of the climate change, mind you. These people were leaving because of the drought. They couldn't farm, and they were seeking other ways to survive. So there are many reasons that go into this, but the fact is we have to deal with it at the border. And some of the people coming there are seeking asylum. And I always like to quote our friends in the evangelical movement. At one of our rump hearings we had before we had the majority, the representative said to us, the United States Refugee Resettlement Program is the crown jewel of American humanitarianism. So we have certain responsibilities that we must honor. We have to have a system that accommodates that, and that is what the Biden administration is in the process of doing.
And so she's making the emotional argument there that we should take in those that are seeking asylum, and there is some truth to that. However, what's happening right now is the Democrats are arguing that anyone who says that they're seeking asylum should just be admitted immediately, and that's causing just all these problems that we're having right now and just an influx that we can't quite deal with. And, we should be trying to help those that we can help that are looking for help, but also that shouldn't come at the detriment to the rest of the American people. And just to circle back a little bit, God forbid I say the word circle back, but just in case people weren't clear on exactly what policies Biden had kind of has been removing so far. You could probably speak to this too, Andrew. But, first off, they just immediately halted construction of the border wall, which has kind of opened up a lot of opportunities for illegal immigrants to cross over. And second off, they ended the, I believe, remain in Mexico policy. So basically, those seeking asylum would have to remain in Mexico while they're waiting, having waiting their day in court. And instead, by revoking that, all of those people, you're going to seek asylum? Okay, come hang out until your court date. And oftentimes they never show up for their court date. So, yeah.
I mean, that's to get at the abuse. So often when Democrats talk about, well, most of the illegal immigration in the United States isn't actually at the southern border. It's visa overstays.
Right.
Okay, well, if we want to hold that is the fact, and many reports do actually indicate that is the fact, but if we want to hold those as the facts, then saying that folks can, reside inside the United States unaccompanied throughout their day in court would mean that those people are essentially in the same situation as visa overstays, where they have free reign over, an opportunity to live in the United States and go where they please. They don't need to show up to court again.
Right.
They can just dodge and duck the system. So you're opening up, from the border wall to instances like that, you're opening up huge arrays of opportunity. I want to get at the idea that also Pelosi's conversation about, how many folks it is and how it's worse because Trump made it worse. Well, if that were the case, one of the kind of facts of causality is that the time order has to make sense. It has to come, one thing has to make sense being first and causing the thing that happened after. Now, if Trump was to blame for all of this, would the numbers not have risen kind of maybe rapidly or even, slowly throughout the course of Trump's presidency, which we did not see? Instead, it's at the moment that Joe Biden takes office, issues numbers of sweeping executive actions on immigration, and then promises all outright amnesty to the vast majority of 11 to 22 million illegal immigrants who are in this country. There is absolutely no question that this is a political opportunity. There is no question that they have been caught with their pants down on the left in terms of being told for years that they're going to fix these problems. If we win this election, we were told for months last year, this was going to be one of the first items on the docket. Well, guess what? By giving that promise, you're promising a lot of people who would love a better life and who my heart goes out to those folks.
Yes.
I would understand
Definitely.
it if I lived in another country. I would love to live in the United States. That's where I would be looking to go. But you are opening up an opportunity with those promises, and he's absolutely to blame. The fact that they can't even say the word crisis, it's a humanitarian challenge. Barack Obama called it a crisis. It's a crisis.
Yeah.
It's been a crisis.